Hello. All right, so the thing I'm going to be doing today is I'm gonna make a template in Cubase, which I use to make Chiptune. And I'm gonna show you what I'm using and how I do this. Might be interesting for some of you. For some of you, it might not make any sense because you don't make music, but it might be interesting anyway. Who knows? So let's just start out with can you actually hear anything? So now I'm playing something. All right, so let's get started. So I'm using a plugin called magical8bitplug, and there is magical8bitplug2 and magical8bitplug2. This was made by Yokimura from YMCK, and this second version will work with basically any DAW that you're using. I am using Cubase, but if you're using Logic or Fruity Loops or GarageBand or whatever you're using, it's gonna work with that. So this is what the plugin looks like. Magical8bitplug2. And you can choose from 3 different sounds. So it's pulse, square, triangle, and noise. I'll lower the volume on this a little bit. So if I just have pulse, and here we have 3 settings: 12.5%, 25%, and 50%. So if it's 12.5, it sounds like this. If it's 25% and 50%. So they all sound a little bit different. I like to use this one, 50%, which is also called a square wave. I use this one mostly for my melodies. All right. So what should I start with? Okay, I'll show the other ones first. So triangle sounds like this. This is what I use for bass most of the time. And then we have noise. All right, so let's set this. Let's start with, let's see here. I'll call it bass. So the track I use for bass is triangle. All right. And you have a bunch of different envelopes you can change the sound with. For example, if I change the attack, it will come in slowly. Usually I don't do anything to this. And I keep the decay the same, sustain the same. I usually add just a little bit of release so that there is no click after I press it. Bend range is the pitch, how much when you use the pitch bend in the piano roll window, how much you want it to change. 12 means 12 half notes. So it's 1 octave. Then there is auto bend. Auto bend is pretty fun. Let's see. Actually, this is different from the first version, so I haven't played much with this, but I think what it does, it does, let's test it out. Right. This is kind of fun. I'm going to show you how to use this later for when I make the toms. Then we got vibrato here. I'm not gonna use the vibrato for the bass. All right, so this is the bass. I'm gonna make a song after I've done the basic setup. You can see how each of these are used. So bass first here, and I'll make a new track for noise. And noise I will use as percussion. And I'll just keep it as it is. I'll call it noise. And then this square is the melody. Yeah, I'm also gonna change the volume of all of them to be the same. Yep. Magical 8-bit plug. Yeah. Should I? Yeah, let's do that. I'll do another square, which I'll call square delay. And I'll show you something cool you can do with that. Up. Set this to 12. And I'll do the same with this one. All right. So here, and I'm gonna call this square where delay. So I'm gonna show you something now. Hold on. It doesn't. Huh. Did this change? All right, I'll just do this. Let's make 2 of them. Let's make 1 more. I'm figuring this kind of stuff out while I'm doing it. So this is usually what the process for me is like. Usually I don't do this from scratch. I have it all set up from start, but I was thinking I should show how I do it completely from scratch. It might be interesting to someone, and to other people it might not be interesting at all. But anyway, so let me, before I continue with adding tracks, let me show you something cool you can do with this setup that I have here. And this is something I like to do a lot. So I'm not sure what the tempo is now, but it doesn't matter that much. Hold on. This is not, I haven't changed it correctly. Yeah, it should be 50. This one should also be 50. It is. And is this one 50? Yes, 50. All right, let's do it one more time. this. I will copy this to... let's do this instead. Let's make them shorter. So let's copy this to this one here. And I will lower the velocity, which only means the volume will get lower for all of it. And I will do the same thing and on my third track. I will explain what I'm doing in a second. But let's listen to this and see what it sounds like. So this is something I like to play around with a lot. I just did something simple here. And what I did was I have one track in the middle playing a melody. I can solo this here, right? Yes. So if I only listen to it, nope, it doesn't work. If I only listen to, I can do it here. If I only listen to this one, you only hear like one note short, but you can add the exact same note and it being in the left, slightly delayed, and it will sound more spacious and interesting. And then I can do it a third time to make it go from center, left, right. Like every note goes first center, then left, and then right. So this is a fun little trick I like to use. And I always do this manually. I never use a plugin to do delays or reverb or something like that. I always do that just manually like that. And I use 3 tracks for that. But yeah, some people like to use a separate delay effect for this. But if I want to make it sound like a video game like this, yeah, it's better to do it manually, I think, because it becomes more authentic. Or at least I like this sound better. But then for some songs, if it's more with modern music, it blends better if you use a delay effect on the track. Actually, I can show you what that sounds like. So if I have this and I put a delay track on it, see here, a stereo delay. Let's see what that would sound like. Yeah, this is also pretty cool. It's the same thing. It's just the way that I do it is more controlled. All right. This melody that I just played is from an old song I made for my first EP, I think. I did something like this, but it's faster actually, yeah. Anyway, that was the melody I thought of now, so that's why I used it as an example. Excellent. Okay, I'll continue on with adding some more instruments. So next, I'll add 2 more here. So I'll do this one. Hold on. Yeah, I'll do the same for all of them. They all have bend range being 12, and then just one release to not get some click noise. I am only changing the gain here because I know that this volume worked for the streaming, and if I make it louder, then maybe I need to change some settings in the mix, and I'll try to make it not too loud. So pulse L, I'll call this one, and I'll call this one pulse. Oops. Sorry. Oh yeah, I can change it here. That's right. Usually I keep this around like L. I can do L50 and then this one R50. Okay, next I'm gonna have 2 plucky sounds. And usually I keep it at 12.5 and 25. This doesn't matter that much. Okay, so I'm gonna do some testing here. Yeah, maybe I needed to do this for all of them too. Anyway. Yeah. Okay, so here's a... Wait, that's the wrong one. This is the one. Probably. How many of you make music in DAWs like this? There's a funny thing that I like to do. So it's this kind of plucky sound that yeah, this kind of sound. This is probably good, right? Yeah. All right, let's do the same with the next one. I always like to have one of these or 2 of these plucky sounds that I can use for different things. You see, I do L and R for all of these. That's just the way that I do it. You don't have to do it like this, but I like to have them spread out pretty widely when I make my songs. So the bass and the melody is in the middle, and then you got like some chords and stuff that are sort of, one is 50% to the left, one is 50% to the right, and then I got some delays and some pluckiness all the way to the left and all the way to the right. I'm gonna try something I've never done before, but I'm interested in. I want to try to make a kick using Magical 8bitplug, and we'll see if it works. But probably I won't use this in songs, but just for this streaming, I'm gonna test it out. So I'm gonna make a kick sound with magical8bitplug. And this is how I'm thinking of doing it. Let's see. All right, let's see if this works. No, it doesn't really work that well. How do I do this? Probably. It kind of works, but it sounds a bit strange. Almost sounds like a kick, but I'm missing something. I'm not sure what. I'll go with this anyway. I'm gonna test it out here. Actually, that might be okay. So if I do this, oh yeah, decided. Hold on. This is. Yeah, that sounds kind of nice. Huh. Okay, this will be my kick for now. I'll probably make a different one for an actual song, but yeah, so we almost got the whole setup here. Got the kick, the noise, bass, then the melody track with square L and R, which I use for delays for the melody. And I got 2 pulses. I usually write 50 on this because they're 50% panned. Then I got pluck L and R. Now, the last thing here I want to make is toms. This is pretty fun to make in magical8bitplug. So usually I use a triangle and I use pulse square 50% for this. Maybe this is good. Oh wait. So this is how you make a tom that sounds like Mega Man, which I use a lot. Let's see. This is not enough decay. Need more decay. Oh wait, that's... Yeah, that's... So the only thing I did to make this sound was attack 0, sustain 0, release 0, and then I bring the decay to, well, 114, 0.114. And I use this one, this auto bend function, which is really cool. What it does is 22 means it's 22 half steps more than the note you want it to hit. If that makes any sense. So, well, let's say it was 12. That means it would be an octave higher than the note you want it to hit. So it starts from an octave higher and it glides to the note that you're hitting on the keyboard. And how fast it will glide there depends on the time that you set here. 0.1 means 0.1 seconds. So if I just remove this and I have a normal sustain, I can show you how this works. So if I make this time longer, it will sound like this. And the faster I make it, it will become faster. And then 0.1 will become like this. And now it doesn't sound good unless I change the sustain to 0. And the sustain means if you hold a note on the keyboard, what volume it is. So this just means that the volume, it becomes 0 when you hold it. But the decay is from when you press it until the sustain hits how long it is. Man, this is so difficult to explain. Anyway, you need to use decay. There are YouTube tutorials for this, I'm sure. If you want to make this kind of Mega Man kind of tom, this is how you do it anyway. So auto bend set to like 20 something, time to 0.1, then 0 attack, 0 sustain, release 0, and then you got decay somewhere around like 0.1 to 0.1 0.12 or to 0.15 or something, somewhere around that. You can test it and see how it sounds. This is actually a little bit long, maybe. Yeah, this is good. And then I will do exactly the same, but for a triangle sound, because I like to have two kinds of oscillators doing the same thing. They sound slightly different. So this one is square, but if I use a triangle, it sounds like this, which also sounds pretty cool. Okay, so I guess this is my setup for today. Took a while, but I got there.